So I understand you work with casting director, is it Emily Schweber?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us some tips on how you cast a movie from far away? You're back, close to the East Coast right now, and then you come back and forth to LA. How is that done? What's the best way of choosing actors from far away when you're not in LA?
Well, I mean, Emily and I have been working together ever since Steel City, and I was very unfamiliar with the casting process, so I owe my knowledge of how this all works to her. And she just sort of taught me what to look for, and the audition process and working with actors in the room, that's something I didn't know. I didn't understand that, and that's a skill. And and you really learn a lot about directing when you're given a small opportunity. An actor gives you a read, and then you have to give them a very brief direction or a very brief motive as to how they can very simply and wisely alter their performance for what you're looking for, what the character, the dynamics of the character in this very brief time, and that's hard to do. And as a director, you can recognize, okay, this person has got something I like, but you're not seeing it in the room. And Emily, taught me through all her years of experience how to do that, how to maneuver that, how to navigate that in the room, and then that translates to set, which is, on set that's a whole different beast. But getting back to actors, just as a movie lover in general, you're constantly watching movies and seeing good performances and people you want to work with, and the casting director just gives you recommendations, and people you never would have thought of ever, and they have this sense of finding talent that might be uniquely great for your project, and they see something in them like, well, in 10 years I think this person's really going to have blossom into a leading man or a leading lady, and they kind of have that. It's this weird thing.
That's interesting. Do they share with you what that is? Sometimes when you see that, is that because sometimes I'll see people that are really sort of vulnerable on screen, and a lot of times I find that people really relate to that. Whereas those that come in like, oh, I'm acting, and they're puffed up, it never really translates.
Right.
But
I think it's very. I think acting is very intuitive. I honestly believe you can't learn it. I know they have all these acting schools. I think you can develop technique, but I think you're either born being able, you just have the gift of, turning that switch on and being somebody else, or you can't. And I think it also has to do with, you find the best actors I know are very cerebral, intelligent people, and when they talk to you, you get a sense of, wow, this person really understands. They have a empathy and a sympathy for the human condition and what it's like to. They realize that they just navigate through life, and they very wisely pick and choose what they're going to let in and what they're going to let out. And I've never met a great, I don't know how to say this, all the people I've worked with have been very, very smart, intelligent, wise people, and I don't think there's a coincidence that they're also great actors, if that makes any sense.
yeah, I think it does. Do you think that you're casting people for who they are as people a lot of times when they come in that door, when you do actually get to be in LA, or even if you're in Alton or wherever casting them? Or do you see people that they do have another side to them that doesn't come out to the public persona and you turn it on?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with who they are as human beings, how they look, their mannerisms. I was just in a casting session the other day, and my casting director said, that person's too cosmetic. There's a little bit something too cosmetic for your story. It's almost like, I'm dealing with Midwest themes and blue collar and this, and she would say, you're not going to believe that actress, you're not going to believe her, that she's going to step out of a car in the Midwest, and that's just not going to be believable. So I tend to go towards a more real looking, you know, people that have lived life. I mean, because you can't be a great actor if you move out here when you're 18 years old and do nothing but audition and work in a coffee shop. Like, live some life, man. I mean, that applies for anything you do, unless you're a doctor and you really have to like learn how to be a surgeon. But you know, like, live life, get out there. You know, otherwise you're never gonna know what it's like to play someone real.
And also too, those depths. You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
talked about the same thing when projects have fallen apart. If things come too easy, I think too, maybe people don't.
Right.
You know, just say, be cool, man. It's all good. You know, but sometimes life isn't all good, and I think that's sometimes where people get some great, you know, realness to them. I mean, have you?
Well, then you have this new crop of actors that become actors just through nepotism, and they've grown up in Hollywood, they've grown up in a bubble, and they're all of a sudden actors, which is fine. I mean, that's the way a lot of businesses work, and but I don't think you're gonna get any, you know.